The power of MGTOW is unmistakable, and any man who wants to use its strengths to his advantage should be conscious of the requirements that must be fulfilled to get there. During the process of obtaining masculine empowerment, the ego is shed and one's identity is rebuilt. There will be changes to your worldview based on the indisputable facts that have been presented to you, which you yourself have noticed as you go through this journey. You will likely lose many things that were important to you and helped shape your personality, perspective, and aspirations. There will be days when you wish you had never discovered MGTOW at all, so you could return to your former self and reclaim what you think was lost. But hopefully, you will be able to snap out of that thought process as quickly as you reached it, because it would be an injustice to your future self to give it up when the difficult times arrive. Assessing external behavioral patterns that have always appeared and will always exist is something that deprives you of your innocence and abandons you in the middle of nowhere, alone, and naked. This is a huge red flag. The first thing you lose is the innocence that prevented you from seeing what was right in front of your eyes this whole time. Exploring the worst elements of female nature is one of those things. But examining external behavioral patterns that have always existed and will always exist, on the other hand, obscures the fact that many characteristics of today's women have surfaced as a result of the organization of our traditional societies. However, there are a plethora of characteristics that are inherently female and can only be partially restricted, but never completely eradicated. You will never be able to sleep again because it is the great double-edged sword with which you will face the world from now on. Yes, today's woman is a shambles and can be an embarrassment. However, women from earlier generations would face many of the same challenges. This can help put things in context and expose that the challenge to preserve male sovereignty extends far beyond any social manipulation decadence or corrupt practices that we may face today. On the one hand, being conscious of your surroundings and working to diversify your understanding of what is possible is a wonderful thing. Burying your head in the sand is no longer an option because your head will no longer fit. Turning the other cheek and disregarding what you know to be true will only make you feel guilty and insecure because you won't be driving yourself in the right direction. However, because you can never go back to sleep, you can never truly rest. The loss of my drive was the most distressing aspect of my discovery after MGTOW. I hoped to make 6 figures and eventually have a large family, but I no longer have those goals after some self-reflection following my discovery of MGTOW. I decided that I couldn't waste my youth and body working on something that can be used against me in the future. It wasn't so much about starting a family and having children, as it was about creating something that could be passed down to future generations. The lack of this drive resulted in a fundamental shift in the structure of everything. After a while, I realized that I hadn't really lost the drive, but rather that I needed to rediscover it, and it never left me, but its appearance had changed and it had become challenging for me to recognize because I was still looking at the world through my old set of eyes, with an Asian perspective that did not consider what I wanted and what would ultimately serve my interests. I chose to be an educator and live a simple life, establishing myself and passing on things that are more significant to me than simple genes. I also chose to live in a location where I could teach my students things that were more important to me than simple genes. The desire to succeed is never truly lost. It simply needs to be redirected to serve another of your purposes. The relationships you have with the majority of people are the next thing to go as you transform yourself after discovering MGTOW. That doesn't mean they can't provide something else, but keep in mind that the majority of people are just narrow-minded and self-centered. They do not serve themselves. Every person can teach you something, even if it's just what not to do. Just because someone's worldview differs from yours after discovering MGTOW doesn't mean they can't offer you anything anymore. They never question the comfortable prison in which they live because the views of others and the limitations imposed by their culture bind them, and they have never questioned the cultural norms that have imposed those boundaries. When you are in direct communication and understanding with your inner self, your emotions, and your needs and wants, you are in the highest state of consciousness. Meditation can help you understand this better. Introspection and expression are alien concepts to them, making these methods a pointless distraction that will only serve to demolish you. The world that was built for them underwent the most significant transformation as a result of the passing of romanticism with women. This is true whether you choose to enjoy the MGTOW, monk, or bachelor lifestyle and the idealism it provides. What you used to have with women will no longer be available to you. There will no longer be butterflies. There will be no more flights of fancy or questions about their motivations. When you understand how women function, you realize they are a completely different species, that they approach each situation from a unique perspective based on their biology and fixed characteristics. They can never be more than passing distractions now that they have been separated from the path's goal, because they are incapable of approaching every situation from a different angle. Isn't it a big adventure to live in terror? That's what it's like to be a slave. It's an eye-opening experience. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the new videos that come out that are all just for you. See you in the next video.